All right, hello again. Just like last night, all the bars are closed, the restaurants are closed. Usually we like to do a happy hour or join others for a drink. So I think this is a good way to get together without having to be able to keep our social distance like we're supposed to. And hope you have a drink to join me, because I'm going to do that too. But what I'm going to do tonight, I talked about doing some old fashions. And an old fashioned is made with bourbon, of course. And bourbon's one of my favorite drinks. And I've got some different ideas that I kind of want to go through. But just imagine if you could try like small versions of different old fashions. Now, a lot of times if I'm going to drink bourbon, it's not bad to just drink bourbon. Put an ice cube in and drink bourbon that way. And but yeah, I enjoy doing that, but I want to try something different, kind of play around. You know, I've had an old fashioned. I thought, you know, what if we just had different kinds of old fashions, of different things that we can do to that, just for fun, just to try different things, you know, instead of just drinking the same thing all the time. But like I said, it is nice to drink bourbon. It's made to be drank that way. It's not like a vodka or a gin or a rum where you're going to sit around and sip vodka or sip rum or sip tequila on its own. It's usually mixed with something. But now with an old fashioned, there are several different things that go with it that I have to make this all work. Now there's different kinds of old fashions that you can do, and I've tried different kinds. And just your regular old fashioned is a couple of ounces of bourbon and a cherry and sugar. And I keep some sugar cubes down here in Bourbon and Buzz Cuts. You know, I usually use one sugar cube for a regular size glass. For an old fashioned, one sugar cube for a regular size glass, and then I'll put one cherry in there. Then I'll muddle it with the muddler. And I'll even add just a little bit of club soda to it, just so that it's makes a consistency with that sugar and that muddled cherry. It makes it kind of nice. I don't put a lot in there because then it kind of waters it down too much. So you'll put in your cube of sugar, and my wife just picked these up, Old Smoky Moonshine Tennessee cherries, which is nice. They're actually 100 proof, 50% alcohol with the cherry. So it's kind of interesting. Got a nice little scoop there. Put that in there. A little bit of club soda. Just enough so that you can get it all muddled. Get it all mixed up. Now, something else you can do is your ice cube. You can do several different things, and over time I've come up with different things where you can do a round ice cube. You can do the big square ice cube. And Julie and I went to a restaurant about a week ago, and I ordered an old fashioned, and their big ice cube was like perfectly clear. And I thought that is really cool to be able to do that. I haven't been able to do that yet. Or you can do a couple of the small ice cubes. But pop a large one in there, and then whichever bourbon you prefer. We can do this with bullet bourbon. Sometimes I measure it out. sometimes I don't. So we'll just put bourbon in there, right on the ice cube. There you go, right on the ice cube. Got a couple stir straws. Stir that up. Now, with the regular old fashioned, you usually have some orange peel. And I usually don't keep orange peel with my bar down here. But what I've seen is they'll take the orange peel, they'll peel it off a little bit off of an orange, twist it so you get some of that citrus in there, and I've even seen it rub that orange peel on the rim and then just pop it in there. It looks really cool. But instead, for my bitters, I have orange bitters. So orange bitters, a couple of shakes in there, gives it that orange flavor. And you've got a nice old-fashioned there to sip. Cheers. I hope you all have something. Yeah, that's good. Now the thing with this is you sit around and sip this old-fashioned. But like I said, there's so many other versions or variations of old-fashions out there, and I was going to make 4 different ones here. And instead of putting an entire sugar cube in there, because just think, if you could go to your local whiskey house or bourbon bar or whiskey bar or whatever, and they'll have, hey, we'll give you 4 miniature old fashions, which is kind of neat. I was down in Dallas, Texas, and it was a whiskey bar, and they did something similar to that. So that's kind of where I got this idea. And they had a couple of different whiskeys that I haven't tried before, and they had a Scotch. It's called Lagavulin Scotch 16, age 16 years. And it's actually made in Scotland. And the bottle itself is about $100. I've seen it down at Capital City Liquors, and I think it was like 93 bucks for a bottle. But my wife and I was at McGee's, the Irish pub that's in the district there in Ankeny, and they had a bottle of it. And I asked them, okay, for a shot of that, how much is a shot of that? And he said a shot of it is $23 for a shot. So yeah, all right, I'll pass. But that just kind of puts into proportion how valuable it is, and it's really good. It's got a nice smoky taste to it. But anyway, back to these little old fashions. Instead of dropping a sugar cube in there, I use simple syrup that you can pick up anywhere. Put your little bit of simple syrup in each of these. Give it that sweet taste. Let's put a cherry in each one. All right. Now this is going to be done on a smaller version. I'm not going to fill it all the way up with bourbon. And since the simple syrup is already a syrup, I don't need to add any club soda, so I can go ahead and muddle these. All right, now I've already made one with the Bullet Bourbon. So I'm going to put that back, and I put the cap somewhere. We're going to use some different bourbons, but what will go very nicely in these little glasses is the nice little round ice cube. Got a couple of those. You can order this little round ice cube thing maker online is where I found it. It didn't take long to get that in. And I've got for the big squares for this one here to make your ice cubes. And then for the smaller ones, I'll use this for like if I'm making a Manhattan or something. I'm gonna shake it up. But they make nice little square ice cubes also. These round ones are nice. Now, there's a couple of different old fashions that I've tried just going to different places. And you say, hey, I just like my bourbon as bourbon, and I just want a regular old fashioned, okay? But you want to get creative sometimes and try something different. And I picked up a bottle. It's actually it's a Canadian whiskey of pecan flavored whiskey. I saw it on a menu at a restaurant that we had visited when we were down in Orlando for the bowl game down there, which I won't even get into. But a nice pecan whiskey. It's a nice pecan taste with that simple syrup and the cherry, the ice cube. Oh, I can smell that pecan just right there. It smells nice. Put some bitters in there. I always use the orange bitters. And stir it up. Alright, there's a pecan old fashioned. Now something else that I've seen that's kind of unusual on the menu, and it's like, why would somebody do that to bourbon? Well, they did, and it's peanut butter whiskey. Screwball is the distiller that makes this Screwball peanut butter whiskey, and it tastes like peanut butter. And there's something else that goes with it. I've got some raspberry syrup. So I'm gonna make a peanut butter and jelly old fashioned with peanut butter whiskey and raspberry syrup. Squirt a little bit of this in there. That's probably enough. A little bit of bitters. There we go. Stir that up. Got a peanut butter and jelly old fashioned. Now that's quite unique. Let's see what all we got here. All right. This here is one of my favorite bourbons. Angel's Envy, and it's hard to find around here, and it's very expensive. It's not as expensive as the Lagavulin 16, but it's about $60 for a bottle. And I actually got this down in Kansas when we went down to a football game where Iowa State played Kansas State. And we stayed on Fort Riley. And we went to the liquor store. They call it the package store, or Class 6. They're on Fort Riley, and they had a couple of bottles of Angel's Envy. And when it's on a military post, there's no taxes, so it was a lot less. So, an Angel's Envy old fashioned. And a little bit of bitters. Now, what would be nice with this, last night at happy hour, we were doing some craft beer tasting, and I talked about smoked old fashions. And I went out and I got I'm not going to do it here in the house because it gets really smoky, but I've got a nice little smoker, and I have different little wood shavings that you put up in here. And you light it and you turn on the fan. You can't hear it. And it'll blow smoke out the end. And there's the shavings there. This is mesquite. If you want mesquite, cherry wood, and apple wood. So all kinds of different flavors. If you like to have that smoky taste, what you'll do is there's a couple of ways that you can do that. Last night I talked about where they had an empty bottle and they mixed the old fashioned in the bottle without the ice cube, of course, and then they filled the bottle with smoke, put a cork on it, and they delivered it to my table like that. Gave me a glass with an ice cube in it, let it sit there for a while and drank it, and that was pretty nice. And different ways to serve old fashions. I got one more, and we're going to get to that. But different ways to smoke that is you'll hold this up into the glass, without the stick in there. Hold it in the glass, and then put the a coaster on it and let it sit for a while and let it cook. And what's nice about this, if you like to sit around a campfire or cigars or whatever and sip bourbon, a smoked old-fashioned is an awesome way to do that, to experience that. Now, a fourth one here that I have, kind of come up with on my own, and add some bourbon in there. Let's see. I've got some Woodford Reserve, which is a really good bourbon. I've already got my simple syrup and the mottled cherry in there. Put in some Woodford Reserve, pour it right on the ice cube. Give it some bitters, and then something else. If you like maple syrup, I bought this from a friend. It's called Scout's Own Maple Syrup. It's a dark color. It's awesome. You can put it on anything if you like to bake or smoke or whatever. I'd even put it in my coffee. It's called Scout's Own because there's a scout camp in Ohio, Boy Scout camp, or Scouts BSA camp, or Boy Scouts of America camp, and on their camp they have lots of maple trees, and they tap their trees and make their syrup and sell it as a fundraiser, and it goes really good with bourbon. If you like a little bit of maple flavor with a maple style old fashioned, and it goes really good. Yeah, that's. Like I said, I've even put it in coffee before. So you have a maple flavored. My wife and I, we went to Las Vegas, I think it was last year or the year before. And by the downtown area, they have a gangster museum. I think that's what it was. And at the museum, down in the basement, they had a speakeasy so that you could go down there and have some drinks. And I ordered an old fashioned. And they came back and they gave me a book in a glass with ice cube in it. Well, what's this? Well, it's a speakeasy, so it's supposed to be kind of hidden or secret. So I opened the book like I was going to read it or something, and it was a hollowed out book and had a little tiny bottle in it with a cap, and that was your drink. And then you just poured it in the glass on the ice, and that was your old fashioned. So I thought that was kind of a neat way to do that. But let's see. We had the old-fashioned here. Oh, that's a good one. Easy to drink. That's a good one. Oh, that's the pecan. Yes. Got it mixed up. This is the pecan. I can smell it. Oh, pecan whiskey. Yes. This one was the peanut butter and jelly. Boy, I wish you were all here with me so that we could share all these together, but I'm hoping that you're doing this all on your own too, or doing something so that we're going to have a drink together for our virtual happy hour since we can't get together. They've even said don't even invite your neighbors over, so we're going to do the best we can, right? Yeah, that's interesting. Peanut butter and jelly. Old fashioned. This one here was the Angel's Envy. Old fashioned that would be a smoked old fashioned. Double goodness. But since I'm inside, I didn't smoke it. Next time I'll have to go outside and smoke an old fashioned. Yeah, it's good too. And then the maple. The maple old fashioned. Yeah, it's like pancakes, right? Maple old fashioned. Oh, that's smooth. I can taste that maple. It's good. Good maple syrup there. All right. Too much bourbon too quickly, all right? You're supposed to slowly sip it and enjoy it. Too funny. Too funny. I'm going to get a lot of crap for that, I think. Anyway, I hope you're all enjoying the drink. I've been on for about 20 minutes. I usually try to want to keep this down to about 20 minutes. That way I ain't boring you all night long. But I want to do a couple of more of these because I'm enjoying them. And I got a lot of good comments on it from last night. I want to try some different beers, different variations of the Manhattan, and even some different bourbons. A couple of months ago, I had a group of friends over and we did bourbon bingo. I made up a bingo card of all the different bourbons that I had, and we'd see if we could get 4 in a row, or we could hit a bingo and maybe win a bottle of something. But another different type of ice cube. It's not really an ice cube, but I've got these little granite cubes that you can get and you freeze them, and they're just stone, and you put them in your drink, and it doesn't water it down. They don't melt, and it doesn't water it down. But when these start getting melted down, it means it's time to finish your drink, like we're going through now. But anyway, I want to thank you all, and stay thirsty, and cheers. Thanks.